because don't forget that at the end of when I'm done with all the 12 signs, I'm going to answer to some of your questions by pulling tarot cards. So the reason we have gathered this evening is the lovely weekly reading, or what are the energies regarding our intimate and personal life. And this is going to be a four card spread per star sign. I will explain this the spread in a second. The period of time that this reading covers up is 19th to 25th of March 2018 as well, guys. The monthlies for April are already up on the YouTube channel, so after that you can go and check them out, as well as the general weeklies are going to be soon up. I would like to take a few moments to apologize for that, because I really wanted to push the monthlies first and then to provide you with the weekly readings, general weekly readings for the upcoming week. So now I'm going to shuffle, and we are starting with Aries first. The four card spread goes like this: the situation that one is going to face during the week, with after that the challenges of the situation. The third card, it represents the past influence that will still that will still alter the situation itself. And the third card is going to be the future influence, or what could be the outcome of all that if you play your cards right. Hello everybody. Yeah, I do have a considerably good day today. Thank you, Rosemary, for asking, and welcome for everybody who are joining me tonight. So now shuffling, let me do my riffle, making sure that the cards are well mixed. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Oh, that's far away, Cecilia, but thank you for being here. Okay, so even if it is a four card spread, guys, my style of reading is not going card by card, as many people were seeing in YouTube. I am kind of, I draw I'm explaining that for those who are first time here, I am drawing the four cards at the start. And because this is how it works with me, when I draw the four cards, I get the overall message, and after that, I'm kind of like pointing you the stressing parts of one situation. Stressing, I mean, not necessarily bad, but those aspects of the situations which one needs to pay extra attention to. So for Aries, the first card that points how they're gonna find themselves in their intimate life during that upcoming week, that will be the Knight of Wands. And then we have challenges ones to overcome. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Past influence, guys, Five of Swords, and future possible outcome, King of Pentacles. So what happens here for you, Aries, is a bit of distraction. Doesn't necessarily mean appearance of a third party person, but it is more like dwelling into the it's not even an understanding, guys, but into your wish of what your partner, in case you're in relationship, could have been, and how they are not like this in this exact particular moment. And you have thought about, you have talked about it with your partner here, with the past influence, Five of Swords, and you have realized the limitation of that particular relationship you're finding yourself at, that you cannot speed the process, the process of improvement right now, but you need to rather let it go to develop with the flow, which is going to be slowly but steady. What is important here for you, Aries, is to hang on into your relationship, existing relationship, in case you have such. Future influence, King of Pentacles points that you need to secure your position. You need to secure the position of your relationship and maintain the balance in between you and your partner. Two of, excuse me, not two, but the Queen of Pentacles as a challenge card points that you haven't yet examined the full aspect of the relationship, which means for you Aries that you still have things and blessings in, regardless of what kind of spot you're finding yourself at during this particular time, that it is worth fighting for. Which means that if you have been deciding recently to leave your relationship, this is a totally, guys, unjustified decisions because you haven't exhausted the relationship to its very end. Those which are single with these 4 cards, it does points to their ignorance of a current suitor that is trying to approach them, but somehow the Aries cannot see any interest in that person, thus moving along with you know, starting to get to know with additional new people. So that was for Aries, guys. Now let me shuffle and we can go to I just told about single Aries, Mirna. It is about it is not about not having a point of interest here with somebody, but it is just the Aries itself. It is not interested in these people because they either see or believe that these people can't offer them what Aries truly needs. So now shuffling and going to Taurus. Hello, Elizabeth. Okay, so Taurus, first card, the situation you're gonna find yourself in your intimate life, that will be the Sun card, and then we have the challenges, which is the Knight of Wands. Then is the past influence, Queen of Swords, excuse me, and future influence, that will be the Seven of Swords. And this situation is a bit of a controversy, because guys, you're going to realize that a certain person you have been placing a great hopes at, you know, either as a potential suitor or as a partner into one relationship, husband, proves that not to be that great, in a sense that they will betray your trust, in a sense of that they will not attend into a task they have promised to you that they are going to attend to. Okay, so it's not about cheating, nothing like this. It is just, let's say that you have let's say that you are married and you have counted that your husband or your wife is going to get the kids into the school, you know, and you have counted on that, and this is how you structured your week. But it turns out that they have more important things to do than taking care of the responsibilities they have promised that they are going to take under control. So what happens here, guys, is that first it's not going to seem a big deal with you, okay, and you will say, okay, whatever, then I'm going to do it. But the more you move along with that kind of mentality, the more you will start feeling frustration. And what happens at the end is, with the Seven of Swords, is that you simply burst out. You cannot basically take it anymore, seeing that, you know, the person that you are with, it is doing whatever they want, and you're feeling overburdened by the responsibilities and the duties of one relationship, feeling all alone, that you have to tackle with everything that comes into one relationship, and you're going to stand strong with strong spine, storming the situation with them and basically placing them on the place they have to be, and that is the responsible place they have abandoned recently. So the Sun card here plays a role where guys, you cannot find these arguments so severe to make to damage the relationship, but in the same time, as we do have the Queen of Swords as a past influence, you do know that it cannot go like this, because you will become a slave to that person you are with, either a woman or a man, regardless. But if you are single, here these cards, guys, are showing how can I place it? Disapproving interactions, or interactions which one's relative disapprove highly. So let me give you that kind of an example. Let's say that you like a guy, or you like a girl, but in the same time your relatives like mother, father, brother, etc., they don't like that person, and they tell you you should not meet with them, you know, you should not dating with them, you should not hanging out, they're noxious for your future development into your career, etc., etc. Well, what happens here is that you hiddenly or secretively, you are going to continue on dating with these people, knowing that actually the time spent with them, it's a little stolen time, borrowed time of happiness that you will have. No, Lori, Cancer isn't done yet. Okay, so now shuffling, going to Gemini. Hello, everybody. For those who are just tuning in, guys, this is a romantic live taroscope for the upcoming week. The general taroscopes will be shortly up on my YouTube channel as well. Make sure that you check on the monthly April videos because they are already up on the YouTube channel, guys. I hope that you like them. I use the new spread for them. No, Jacqueline, I haven't done Leo yet. Okay, so Gemini, the situation for you is going to be marked with the 5 of Swords, and then challenges is going to be the Page of Swords. Knight of Swords is the past influence, and the Hierophant, it is the future influence. So this is a serious argument you will have in your intimate life, either with your partner at this very moment, or with your suitor. So what these arguments are going to be, guys? Well, basically how the relationship or a potential dating, hanging out process is not meeting your expectations, although you know that this person can and should meet your expectations. And that being said, you have kept the silent treatment until now, not wanting to basically confront that person and make them feel miserable for not being, for example, mature enough, for not being versatile enough, for not being gentle enough, etc., etc. But this week, this is not going to take place anymore. And what happens here is that with a risk of you actually making this person feeling miserable, you confront them and saying what they are not doing exactly wrong by trying to either approach you or by trying to live with you into one relationship. And the results of all that, Gemini, is going to be the Hierophant card, which is everything is getting back to normal. I mean they have learned their lesson, and even though at the start when you raised your arguments against them, telling them that if they continue on behaving like this, simply it is a childish behavior and they don't have a place beside you, hurt them deeply, they are going to recognize the truth in your words, excuse me, and they will get back on track, being mature for the relationship, expressing love and gentleness in there, as well as recognizing their past mistake and limitations with which they can go forward. So they are going to recognize your personal space and will not infiltrate it anymore. Very important to be said here with those which are singles, to be very careful by establishing connections or establishing a relationships just to aggravate somebody, okay, just so they can prove that they can make a relationship, because it will turn out very unproductive, guys. If you don't feel that the person which is attracting you, or rather the person that is trying to create an attraction in you, is not the right one, just don't go for it, for the idea that you can go for it, you know. Just don't make a relationship based only on the idea. If you don't have it within you, it is best to pass on it. Okay, so now shuffling, going to Cancer. Okay, so Cancer, your situation during the week in your romantic life is marked by the Nine of Wands. Then we have the World as a challenges, guys. After that, past influence, Six of Pentacles, future influence, the Moon card. A very tough reading in a sense that it is a very broad reading. What can be said for sure here is that whatever happens during that particular week, guys, it is something that was supposed to happen. So in case you end up separating with your boyfriend, your husband, or etc., etc., you need to know that this is for the better. You need to know that this is happening because the universe or the fate itself has a little bit of a different plans for you, how you should end up happier into one relationship moving on forward into the future. And this happens here in these couple of cards, showing that you are going to struggle or incapability to enjoy liberty into your relationship. That being said, you may feel oppressed by the relationship itself, not by your partner, but being stifled just by the thought that you will have to commiserate with someone, that you need to please someone, you know, with your behavior, etc., etc., and you will feel quite exhausted by doing that. That being said, there is two different ways of how that thing could end up. The Nine of Wands here in that particular the Nine of Wands here in that particular place points that you need to consciously initiate changes. I mean, the relationship in between you and your partner cannot go as it is right now, and these changes shouldn't be a mind-blowing changes, you know, but the small changes. For example, instead of you making the breakfast every morning, ask your partner to make the breakfast every morning. Rearrange your home, etc., etc. It's all about you to start feeling comfortable and to start feeling that you do have a certain liberty into that relationship, certain private space, because it does look like that you have been quite overcome here. And unfortunately, what I can tell you, Cancer, is you are finding yourself into that position because you have allowed that situation to happen. You basically gave way too much from your own personal freedom here with the Six of Pentacles, excuse me, over here. Way too much, trying to, it's not just even pleasing your partner, it is more like you gave up from your own personality and from your own happiness, so your partner can feel happy, and that cannot go any longer. I mean, if there are no hierarchy, if there are no equilibrium into your relationship, nothing will come out of it. And at the end, as a future influence, we are facing the Moon card, showing that you are going to walk a path which end or kind of like final destination is not going to be very aware for you, because it goes beyond the summit here, but in the same time it is exactly the one that you need to move move along with, which means that again, when you start initiating those changes and your partner is starting to seclude themselves from you, then this instantly should give you a hint that you certainly haven't meant to be, and the next one that comes around is going to be simply better. Okay, so now shuffling and going for Leo. By the way, those who are tuning in, guys, at the end of the Taroscope, which means when I'm done with Pisces, I will answer to questions here in the stream which are given in the chat, but I'll answer only to those questions, some of those questions which are given after I'm done with Pisces. So just don't ask your questions right now. And yeah, you may be chosen, you know, and I will draw a tarot card to answer them. So if you want your question answered, make sure you stay to the very end. Another thing I want to say that the April videos are already up on my YouTube channel, and if you're curious what April holds for you, go there and check it out. I have used a new spread. Actually, it's called enhanced spread, so it's kind of like a multiple cards into one positions, with idea to give you more precise perspective of what follows up. Okay, so yeah, if you're curious, make sure you go and check them out. Okay, so for Leo, the card expressing the situation you're going to find yourself in the next week, guys, that will be the Four of Pentacles, challenges, Page of Wands, past influence, Seven of Cups, and future influence, Death card. Okay, so you, Leo, how can I really place it? So I will start with the past influence because it plays a vital role here. So the past influence shows, guys, that you have allowed way too much things to happen without your approval. In other words, even though you highly disapproved certain things to happen into your relationship or into your private life in general, you didn't stood up and you didn't say that you don't like them. And you will now recognize that this is a mistake you have done, and people simply abusing that part of your kindness. You know, for example, they are bothering you way too much that they should, you know, or for example, if you have denied someone to be in a relationship with, they simply doesn't give up, you know, they have become a stalker to you. So what you need to do here is to take a defensive position against your private and intimate life, which means, guys, that you cannot and you should not satisfy everybody but yourself. And this is spoken here with the Page of Wands in a negative position, or with the challenges, realizing that it is better to be alone than to be with someone that only consumes. So this is all about pushing away from your life consumers that never gives anything in return, but they only demand from you. And what happens after that is that people will recognize that you're not someone that they can simply take advantage of. You're not someone that people simply can have just because they can, you know. Well, that's the thing, they cannot have you just because you have pride, you know, and you are gentle as well, and that you want basically to connect with someone on an emotional level. What you're going to show to the people in your intimate life is that your intimacy is but from the most importance, and nobody can take advantage of that, guys, and nobody can actually infiltrate it. So this plays out into a current relationship where you place your partner exactly where they should be, into the opposite side, you know, of the relationship, so they can balance it. And if you are single, that means that even though people may approach you, you know, because this is always happening, if you are not interested, you are going to show them straight away with cutting tongue, you know, with cutting gestures as well, that they are not wanted around you, without even caring how you are going to hurt their feelings. As I said, it is not about their feelings, it is about your personal sovereignty in your intimate life. Now, let me shuffle and we can go to Virgo now. Thank you, Sabina. Well, Daniele, it's Leo has just been done. So you can watch it on a recording, but as well keep in mind that at the end of the stream I'm going to answer questions from the auditory. So if you want your question answered, you may hang around and I may choose you, who knows. Okay, so for Virgo, that will be the Three of Swords, marking up the topic of the week. Then we have the Ace of Cups, which is showing up the challenges. Four of Cups, it is showing up the past influence, and Eight of Pentacles, it is expressing up the future influence. So what happens here for you, Virgo, is that, well, how can I place it? This is a little bit coverage up from the Leo for what it seems, because it does look like that you will have responsibilities to take on into your personal and intimate life, especially if you're finding yourself into a relationship, which you will not find very appealing. okay? And this is something you have been what is the English word here, guys? Not just asked, you know, but obliged to do. It is a little bit difficult to explain it. Let me try to explain it that way. So the activities you have to attend to here are marked with the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords points at true activities, something that you will recognize as they are unavoidable, but in the same time you are going to recognize it as a very misfortunate, because it could have not been that way, but it is that way, guys, because you have taken advantage of certain situations in the past, and right now it is slammed into your face that because you have acted like this in the past, now you need to do this, this, and this. So that's what happened. And even though you may not find any happiness into it, for example, I will give the example, you know, with the children. Let's say that your husband or wife have bringing the children to the school for the past couple of months. They will tell you, oh, now it's your turn. And even though you will not like it, you know, because probably you have more lucrative activities to do, well, you have to do it because they have done it in the past, okay? So this is the direction that these cards are moving, and you will be very frustrated and very annoyed. This is an annoyance here that carries on from the past influence here into that relationship, and it can play out as a little bit different, okay? It could play out that you are annoyed that your partner isn't changing at all, even though they have promised that they are gonna change. You have been thrilled by that, you know, and you believed in them, and God forbid they haven't. So what happens after that? If this is your case, what happens, guys, is that you're going to confront them again, but this time you will not be that milder as you were in the past. This time you will place it like this: look, mate, you are either going to fix that or we're done, and that's it, because I simply cannot stand that anymore. And the future influence shows, guys, that you will have your intimate life, either relationship or either you know, being single and enjoying your life as being single exactly the way you want it, but it's not gonna happen on its own. It will happen by working it out. It will happen through ups and downs, but at the end what is important here is that it's gonna happen. So will your partner going to disappoint you again? Definitely, but with every disappointment that goes along is gonna be milder and milder and milder until you get in tune with that person, you know, and until they get in tune with you. You need to know that the Three of Swords always holds the guilt in the two of you. It is not just one of you, it is two of you, and you have to just find the correct measures to match with one another, and that happens through ups and downs. So the frustrations that carries on should not be the reason for you to just abandon here, okay? It should be, as a matter of fact, the stimulation for you to want that to be worked out and to be settled in as a disagreement. Well, for Virgo singles, Corena, is going to be you enjoying life, as I said, you know, enjoying a life of being single, despite knowing that right now you cannot be with anybody else, because the Three of Swords does reflects the cold truth here. And even though you may have a suitor, because it will be different for every single one of you, some of you will have suitors, some of you will not have suitors, you are going to recognize the cold truth here that right now either a suitor of yours is incapable to be with you because they are, for example, in another marriage, although they love you, etc., etc. You will be in peace with it, knowing that you can forge your intimate future the way you want it, through ups and downs. So eventually you will end up in a relationship, but then the Eight of Pentacles does expresses the readiness of stepping out in the world and showing how ready you are to risk things in order to receive love, okay? So yeah, I'm trying to be as brief as possible with these cards, because as you can see, for in-depth it will take hours, and I have to make a separate live streams, you know, to make it, because you need to know that reading tarot is an art. It's kind of like you cannot do it with a snap of your fingers whenever you want to do it. It simply comes to you. I'm using methods of meditation and etc. to basically place myself in a state of mind so I can easily read the cards. But generally, sometimes it doesn't happen. Debbie, this is about love and career, but if you want to check your general reading, it will be up soon, the weekly reading, and the monthly for April is already up on my YouTube channel. You can go and check it there. Sonia, I will answer personal questions when I'm done with Pisces. If you want your question, you know, maybe chosen and answered by pulling a tarot card, make sure you stick until the very end. And who knows? Yeah, your question may attract me. Because I'm choosing, this is how I choose questions, guys. I choose questions which seems interesting and in that I am pulled toward. Okay, so next one, Libra. For Libra, we have the Hierophant card as a topic of the week. Then we have the Lovers card as a challenge. Wow, that will be a okay, so that will be a week, guys, where you are about to refine the new meaning of love. I don't even have to turn the next two cards to make you the prediction of the next week, but I will do it for the sake of the reading. Past influence, we have a person here, and then the future influence, that will be the Five of Wands. So this is about you, as I said, recognizing the true meaning of love. What is going to happen, guys, at least looking at these cards, and if this was a personal reading, I would have said that you can no longer deny that you love somebody that is around you, regardless of are you single or not. There is somebody that you do have emotional connection to, you love that person, and you're trying to fool yourself that you do not do so, but it cannot any longer happen like this. And the fact that we do have the Five of Wands, it does speaks to me that there is some sort of a obstacles for you to be together. You know, it could be the lifestyle, it could be the family, it could be the mismatch of one's interest, etc., etc. But this card also points for you, Libra, that alternative way could be found. It is all that needs to be done is restructuring the strategy of how one relationship should work. So this is not going to be, in case you go and make it through, guys, this is not going to be a trivial relationship the way you see it in the movies and the way the shows, the TV shows presented it to you. No, it's going to be much deeper one, because we have the Hierophant and the Lovers card for you, Libras, and this is the true definition of love. It is not the love accompanied with the butterflies in the stomach sweeping off the ground every time you see that partner. This is a love established on trust. This is a love established on mutual security, where you know that regardless of what situation that person is, they will always have time to hear you. They will never say a bad word toward you. They will never discourage you with anything. Everything they do is try to encourage you, just the opposite of what lives do. And what lives do is slumbering you. So this is a supporter, guys. This is someone that truly how can I place it, truly believes in you, in a sense that it is holding on you, and despite what kind of position they are right now, despite of what kind of position you are right now, even if you cannot be with this person at this very moment, you can be in the future, as long as you believe in it, as long as you know, or kind of like place in front of yourself the idea that the differences in between you and them are what making you special to one another. Because in this particular relationship, what we do have here, or this particular love that we do have here, not the common interest, it is what binds the relationship, but the differences is what binds it. In other words, whatever you are, the other one isn't. Whatever the other one is, you aren't, and thus combined you make one whole. Oh, really? In Japan? Well, I don't know. I have heard a quite of a controversy about that country. Very overly populated, you know. And by the way, about Japan, I don't want to say a bad word about it, okay? But the Asian culture, it does seems very different from the European culture. So I hope you enjoy your time in Japan, you know. But based on my research and based on my perception at this very moment, I don't think that I can be happy at this country, as a matter of fact, of any country of an Asian culture, because you know the expectation of life and the whole creed that we do, what we do follow, it's very different, okay? Because the European creed is more about personal success, while the Asian creed is all about personal honor. These are two different things, you know. For European to do something that despite honor is more lucrative, you know, while for example a Japanese will never do something that go against the code of honor. This is at least what my impression is from their culture. Hello, Stacy. Well, I don't know about the Facebook. If they aren't allowed to use Facebook, I don't believe so. I mean, the Japan is one of the most advanced country technology-wise. Not to mention that the e-sporting, it is all based Japan, South Korea, China. So not using Facebook, it doesn't really make sense to me that much. You know, e-sport is where you know, teams are playing video games. So it's, I don't know. Okay, so Scorpio now, guys, and for Scorpio we do have the Tower card as the topic of the week. Then we have the Judgment, which is the challenges. Then is the Eight of Pentacles, that comes up as a past influence, and Page of Swords as a future influence. So a very broad, again, reading, guys, and the fact that it is broad reading, this is about the Tower and the Judgment. Now I want to there is no other way for me to give you an accurate prediction here with this if I don't read it based on the method of elemental dignities. And what elemental dignities is basically clashing of elements with one another. And we do have extremely high fire energy, extreme passion that happens. What that passion can be used about, it is entirely up to you, Scorpio, because this is why that reading is so broad. So what happens here, guys, what we do have is the Eight of Pentacles as the previous experience. So you can build up something. You can build up either a relationship or consolidate a current one that you do have. The question here is how far you're willing to go. Are you willing to go as far as it needs to? Because you will have to restructure something. You have to restructure your behavior. You need to force revolutionary change in how you approach your intimate life, guys, because obviously how you're approaching your intimate life right now can get you just so far and not a step any further. And this will happen through a little bit unpleasant symptoms, because you need to adapt. It is not about how the relationship is going to adapt with you. It is about how you are going to adapt with the relationship. Okay, so you get me where I'm going to. Your driving force here is your intimate life. It is not your needs. Okay, but it is the needs of your intimate life. The fact that we do have the Page of Swords into a future position, which is a future influence, it is where you are learning, where you are adapting, because the Page of Swords in that particular spot speaks for a prince, speaks for someone who is thirsty to fit, you know, in the grand scheme of things, someone who really knows to understand how the things works, so they can sprawl their environment, so they can be better in what they are doing. And what you're doing, Scorpio, you are restructuring your relationship, you are restructuring your life. Ladies, the Judgment card, it could reflect pregnancy, and the fact that it is a challenge card, it may reflect unexpected pregnancy. I'm not talking about unwanted pregnancy. If it was other way around like this, then I would have said unwanted pregnancy. Here it is unexpected pregnancy. Okay, like this, unexpected pregnancy. And if you think about should I keep the child or not, yes, you should keep the child. One second, like this, because then the future influence speaks about a child that is going to make you see your intimate life from a brand different, better, broader, and much accurate perspective than you are seeing it right now. So yeah, it's going to be a rather very dynamic and very passionate week for you, Scorpio. That could be your crush, guys. That could be a realization that you are not a good partner into one relationship, that you're not contributing enough into it, and you seriously have to force those revolutionary changes. Otherwise, you will be left alone, you will be abandoned. And the good thing is that you're going to recognize it alone, you know, and you will start making changes. I hope that you are going to register that it should go as far as it needs to, because this is the way how you end up happy, guys. Just this is the way how you end up happy in this week, and get a recognition from your partner or from the person you want to be with. Okay, so now I will shuffle and we can go to Sagittarius. Well, Autumn, I cannot stress you enough how tough it is to learn different language. And under different language, I mean different alphabet based language, because my native is coming from Cyrillic alphabet, and we do have different sounds, you know, and here and there, once in a while in the streams, I have people mocking on me for my pronunciation. Well, I would like to hear you how you speak my language, because there are people here. I know a Cuban, a person from Cuba, you know, that live in my country, in Bulgaria. He has a Bulgarian citizenship and all of that, you know, now over 35 years, and he cannot make the pronunciation right. And this is not because he's stupid, but because we do have different sounds. And probably some of the sounds in English, in Latin, I will never be able to pronounce them correctly. For me, it is an extreme effort to say the word literally. It is an extreme effort, because half of the sounds, it is what we don't have in our alphabet. Okay, yeah, but I'm trying to make my progress with the vocabulary and etc, etc. But yeah, it's kind of like I am deprived from capability, you know, to make the correct pronunciation probably for the rest of my life. But this doesn't bother me, you know. And as I said, haters, they are everywhere. But what haters does not realize, guys, is that when they spam with hate, actually they are helping your video to be pushed through the feed, you know. And so they think that they do you bad while they are doing you a favor. The more comments you do have, the more further the video is pushed through the feed, which means that the more people seeing it. So I am grateful to every single hater I have, because they are helping me immensely. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Well, Madeline, positivity is a part of my life. As I said at the start, I am practicing a certain method, and through which I am capable to see a positive aspect of every single situation. I'm very rarely feeling aggravated, you know, and really annoyed. Well, annoyed it is more often, but it's kind of like being helpless. Okay, so Sagittarius, Knight of Wands, it is what you do have for the topic of the week. Then we have the Three of Swords as a challenges to overcome. Page of Swords comes up, guys, as a past influence, and the Justice card, it does comes as a future influence, air energy all around. I cannot say that this is about your romantic life, guys, because we don't have not a single card pointing for emotions. It is kind of like you are going to be empty within, empty inside, feeling sick of getting disappointed from people around you, feeling sick of not being heard of what you want, feeling sick of how people treating you in that in your personal life during this very moment. And it is very likely here that you are going to say screw it to everything and take a personal time for your own. As a matter of fact, I strongly advise you to do so, because you're about to see your situations from a little bit different perspective here. The Knight of Wands as a topic of your week, it does represent experimentation. Okay, it does represent you trying out different things so you can boost your confidence, your passion. This reading here speaks for loss of drive to continue on into that relationship. Maybe because you have taken it for granted, or maybe because your partner is taking you for granted. You know, maybe because you cannot see any more a reason to be in your relationship, or a reason to meet with people because you cannot find anybody that meets your needs, etc., etc. And it is very important, guys, to use Sagittarius to change environment. This is all that it is all about. It is simply your environment right now. It doesn't seem to offer you what you need, and you need to change social circle. You need to change a place to stay for a couple of days. Just try to invite new people in your environment, guys. Just the very reason for that could be just to realize how much you love the person next to you, because probably the time spent only with this person doesn't give you the sense of value anymore to what the person you are with. Okay, and either, as I said, you are taking them for granted, or they're taking you for granted, and you basically need to a little bit change the environment by inviting some surprises in your personal life and into theirs. Well, Brianne, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah, I mean, guys, you can rewatch it after the stream is done. It will be uploaded in YouTube as well, but bear in mind that after Pisces are done, I'm going to answer questions that you will give me here into the comment section. And if you want your question answered, you know, stay in tune, hang around, guys. So you know, I may choose you. Who knows? Okay, so the next one, that will be Capricorns. Capricorns, for you, Three of Swords. As a matter of fact, the weekly reading also showed something like this. So Three of Swords, then we have the King of Cups as a challenges. Three of Swords comes as a topic. Then we do have the Lovers as a past influence, and the future influence, that will be the Nine of Swords. So what that topic is going to be all about, Capricorns, is that as much as you want to see it, you will start seeing, or rather like you will start sensing that your partner in case you are in relationship, it doesn't show their love anymore the way they have showed it in the past, you know. Or it's kind of like you would have wanted, the very least, you would have wanted to your partner to be a little bit more compassionate and to be a little bit more loving, or rather like a little bit more emotional. Not that they don't love you, okay, but they don't express their emotions. If, for example, when you feel bad, let's say that you had a really tough day at work, you come back home and you share your experience from the day, and then they say, okay, tomorrow is going to be better, don't worry, just go and have your dinner, and then let's go and watch a movie. And you can say, well, what the fuck, you know, mate, I had the worst day in my life, and how you cannot commiserate with me on it, you know. But this is what that especially if your partner is a water sign, you know, and especially if they have a master number, they will kind of have that mentality that it is beyond that. I mean, everybody has a bad day at work. Everybody has a bad day with different people. It doesn't mean that you are threatened. It doesn't mean that this will go on and continuously into the future. It is just, they will think, why you just cannot put it behind you and enjoy the blessing, the small things in life that you do have right now, okay? So this is an aggravation, not seeing the approach of your partner as you are expecting it to see, okay? It is not that your partner is disagreeing with you, or they don't love you anymore, or they don't have emotions toward you anymore. It's just they don't think that your problems has to be so expressed. In other words, they think that you are a drama queen, and that additionally could aggravate you, you know what I mean? So what happens here with the past influence is that the lovers card are showing here, guys, that they have always been that way. It is just you didn't mind it until now for one or for the other reason, and you should remind yourself that this is what they are, simply, and you have to accept them the way they are, because true love here comes only when you start truly loving the disadvantages of the person you are with. And then we do have the Nine of Swords, which is the future influence, and that is a little bit tough to be interpreted, because the Nine of Swords usually in a relationship comes when you are afraid to be alone, or in your case, when you are afraid that the feelings of your partner will get colder. Don't worry, guys, they won't get colder, because in that particular reading, or in that particular position, the Nine of Swords first points that you are worrying in vain, and second points that your worry are focused on a matter which is irrelevant until this very moment, while the relative problem, it is emerging, okay, and you are not focusing your energy into the right spot. For example, you are worrying that your partner is right now getting colder towards you, while the shits are really hitting the fan in your career. If you had a bad day into your career, you shouldn't worry that your partner isn't commiserating with you and is not empathizing, okay? You should worry how you can fix your day at work, instead of worrying why your partner is not, you know, giving you the the treatment you have expected. So in case you are single, guys, this reading points a disappointment of finding out that someone you have been interested in, not that they are not interested in you, but it is just being in a relationship, it is secondary to success for them, okay? So they are more focused either on their career, and they are more focused either on something different like a hobby, etc. And they can be in a relationship with you, okay, as long as you are not interfering with their number one priority. So relationship, it is not a number one priority for them. Or you are not a number one priority for them. So now shuffling, going to Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius. Yeah, affectionate, Autumn. That was my word that I was trying to say. Yeah, affectionate enough, but okay. So Aquarius, Ten of Pentacles is the topic of your week, of your romantic week. Then we do have the Eight of Wands as a challenges, Nine of Wands as a past influence, Chariot card as a future influence. So, guys, this is a card. Actually, they are not pointing to anything severe that happens into this week, into your romantic life, apart that you won't be able to give as much time as you want for your romantic life. In a sense that, for example, if you are single, you will not have enough time to hang out with people. If you are with somebody, you will not have enough time, or you will not have the time wanted from you in order to show them your love, etc., etc. And what is the good thing here, guys, is that you will be totally understood from those people. They will grant you just as much personal freedom as you need in order to succeed into your exterior things. So for you, Capricorn, your romantic life in this week, it is more circumstantial than substantial. And even though in the general reading that I did, it is about making money this week. So if you haven't checked it out, it will be up soon. So make sure you're checking out. But yeah, your general reading, as far as I remember, it is all about making money. So it will be best, that is Aquarius, excuse me. So it will be best for you, Aquarius, to really focus on your tasks that are independable of your romantic life, while when you do have a free time, only then reflect it to your romantic life. Things, why? It is because a lot of stuff is going to start happening, in a sense that nothing is way too important in either your relationship or in either your intimate life with somebody else, because things will change, guys. What seems important right now is not going to be important tomorrow, and when you give it your full devotion into it, first thing you are going to realize is that you have missed a very good chances into your career. Second of all, you are going to recognize that it was basically something temporary but not permanent, and simply you will, I cannot say regret it, you know, because you will be grateful for the time being, spending time with your partner, for example, enjoying the good time together, but you could have done something much more productive. And the future influence here, the Chariot card, it does showing this isn't change, guys. So what shows into one relationship, it is a completely passing behind a certain period of time. Okay, so this period of time, it is where you couldn't give enough attention to your relationship. So what will happen in the future for you, Aquarius, is that your partner will not bother you for it, not at all, and they will not want to see, or kind of like they will not search for interest from it. Okay, so you will get away with it, if that's the correct words I could search for. And if you are single, this card reflects to a possibility, but further into the future, not this week, but your efforts during that week, or kind of like involving yourself into some fast activities, you know, and random activities during this week, is going to put the foundation of a opportunity for you to make a relationship in the future with someone brand new. This is not someone you know right now. This is someone brand new that comes up. Okay, and what needs to be taken under consideration at that time, Aquarius, is to know that is to ask yourself, am I not rushing it way too much? You know, have I thought about every single minor detail before I jump into it? So that was for Aquarius, and now going to last one, Pisces, and after that it is the question answering. Yes, Liz, I'm at Pisces. Okay, so Pisces, Seven of Pentacles is your topic of the week with the challenges, Six of Pentacles, Four of Swords, past influence, and Four of Wands, future influence. Okay, so that will be simultaneously, guys, a good and a bad week. Why? Because you will register that simply what you are expecting from your intimate life, either being in single or being in a relationship, is not the same amount according to what you invest into it. What I let's say it that way. Let's say that you are truly taking care of your body. You are always making your makeup, you know, and you are always putting those efforts to look very well when you go out. And in the same time, you simply cannot see that you are dragging attention toward yourself. This is why you are going to register. Same thing goes if you are in a relationship, that you are contributing well for the relationship, trying to please your partner every possible way, and in the same time, they're not doing the same thing for you. So what is the result of all that, guys? Misconception of what, in case you are single, of what truly attracts, and misconception of how one relationship should be, probably because you have been consulted with someone, either relationship counselor here. Well, if that's the case, you have wasted your money, or you have taken an advice which was a obnoxious advice, in a sense that the person that gave you the advice had no clue how one relationship works or how your relationship would work moving on into the future. So what you can do right now, there is future influence, guys. You're going to become aware that there is a very important matter that you haven't been taken under consideration until now. You have overlooked something. And for those which are single women, I will say it right now, as a guy, as a man, I don't like women which have 2 tons of grime around their face. You know, I don't like women which are extremely fitted, because that means that this isn't natural. It doesn't look natural to me. So perfection is a good thing. You know, this, I'm talking from my point of view. Perfection is a good thing from one side, but in the same time, guys, when you go to the extreme, it is not appealing. So try to be yourself. This is all that is asked from your personal life, guys, and from your intimate life. You, Pisces, needs to be yourself, either into your career or either into your relationship. You don't want to do something into your relationship, don't do it. Make a point that why you should do it, you know, toward what and what you are going to get in return, because the game into one relationship, the game of love, is about giving and taking. When one only starts to give and the other only starts to take, well, this is when you say one-sided relationship. Okay, so you need to continue on maintaining the balance here and maintaining the hierarchy into the relationship. And in the same time, guys, no one can teach you how to behave, you know, either into your personal and intimate life, neither into your relationship. The best you can do is to be yourself and hope for the best, because the best is yet to come. Remember, very important matter. It is about to, you're about to discover the very important matter regarding your intimate life has been overlooked, and you will attend to it, and that will lead to a finalization of an important cycle regarding your intimate life that you are going to mark with celebrations. So that was the taroscope for all 12 star signs, the love taroscope, guys, for the upcoming week, March 19th to March 25th, 2018. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for supporting me. Thank you, everybody, for listening and to be a part of that live stream. And Before we go to the answering question, I want to say again, guys, that the general readings, the general weekly readings are going to be soon up on my YouTube channel, as well as if you haven't checked yet and you're curious what awaits you in April, the monthly readings are already up there. I have used a new spread, quite complex one. I hope you liked it and you enjoyed it. And in case you do have, you know, a constructive, I want to stress out constructive criticism. You are always welcome to give me one. And in case you are interested in a private reading with me, you can check out my website tarotpredictions.net and you can find my services there. If you are interested into on-demand services, you can follow me at Instant Go and you can book your reading from there. So that being said, guys, you have already started with the question. 1 second, I'm shuffling the cards and wow, the refill doesn't want to happen. Okay, card shuffle. Let me see now. Sabina asks how my divorce hearing next week will be. Will it be in my favor? Actually, it's not going to be in nobody's favor with the Ten of Pentacles. You need to know that it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be very fair. Second of all, how can I place it? It will grant independence to both parties. So it's not going to be neither negative nor positive with this card. I could say that it is way too early to be judged because there are way too many facts to be processed. And I could say with this card that in case you have hired a lawyer, it does show that this lawyer knows what they're talking about, knows how they are going to win that case. But Ten of Pentacles, it does point out that it is rather favorable by your behalf, but you need to know that it's not going to be entirely in your favor. Okay, but in the same time, you will gain faith into the justice system. Okay, so let me find another one. Oh, that's a very interesting one. Madeline seems to become, I would say, heartless, or she felt an emotional emptiness, excuse me, in the past year. So how can she bring back passion and newness into her life? That is the Death card, and there is something from your past that making you that way, Madeline, at least according to that card. In that particular question, the card says burn and cut off ties, burn bridges. That could be ex-lover that you're still thinking of, that could be being smothered by your family, etc., etc. But you need a major change with that card, and that major change can only happen when you leave your past behind. And the key to that is not being regretful for whatever choices you did, you know, because you cannot fix them right now. Only thing you can do is just learn your lesson and move along, knowing that you can be a better person moving forward, and inevitably you will start experiencing emotions back again. Okay, so let me choose another one. Teresa asks about her marriage, and your marriage can go for a long run here, Teresa, but it is very important to Well, this card is about combining, or rather tackling with, it's not the differences, but I don't know how to express it really. It is about tackling with the things which are aggravating you. I mean, what you need to accept in your marriage is that there will be always things that are annoying you. Your partner, your husband isn't perfect, and you should love them that way, as they are missing perfection, because you aren't perfect either. Okay, so it is all about finding the exact measures and the correct approach toward your marriage. Don't go to the extreme, you know. Don't expect heroism as well. You need to accept it as a perfectly fine marriage which has ups and downs, people fights, you know. It cannot be one marriage cannot be always red carpets and roses, but in the same time it shouldn't be doom and gloom as well. So it is a totally fine one for what I can see with this card. Okay, so let me find some more. Brandy, am I making the right choice romantically? I usually don't answer these questions because these kind of questions require more than one card. So this is how one tarot reader works, guys. When you have that kind of a question, the question from the reader to the cards is how Brandy is going to feel when she make that choice. And then you judge is the choice right or wrong. So how you, Brandy, gonna feel after you make that choice, and that will be happy. You're gonna feel that the fruits of your labor are giving results. You're gonna feel that the vision you had was the correct one, and as well you are going to win followers making that particular choice. Is this the right one? Is this what you want? If this is what you want, then that is the right choice to make. Okay, so let me get one more. I'm trying to find an interesting question, guys. Oh, that's a good one, because you don't see many often, you know, past love coming into the picture. So Joy, I recently had an old love coming into the picture. Will this union be successful for you, Joy? We do have the moon, and you are not supposed to know the answer. Unfortunately, this union is supposed to happen. The success lies further into the future. What I can tell you with the moon card is that you have a great deal of lesson to learn from that. That could be a lesson of happiness, it could be a lesson of disappointment, but you need to know that this is something that it is supposed for you to experience, and it is something that plays a vital role for the purpose of your life. So if should the union happen, yes, do not fight it, okay, but don't be also premeditated that it needs to be successful, and under successful I mean happily ever after, necessarily, you know, on 100%. It is just there is something for you in it, and it is something substantial for your path in life, and you have to consume it. That's why you have failed to consume it in the past, and that's why that love, it is coming back into the picture right now, so you can repair it back. In case you fail to consume it again in the future, this person will reappear back again. So I suggest you to give yourself to that drive completely, so you can at least finalize that cycle that you're moving on right now, and embark the substantial future for yourself. So that was the live stream for this week, guys. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and you liked it. And again, in case you do have a feedback for me, either good, bad, or different, it is always welcome. Again, I want to tell you guys that in case you're interested in a private reading with me, you can check out my website tarotpredictions.net and check my services there. And as well, you know, in case you want an on-demand services, you can follow me at Instant Go. and purchase your reading from there. That being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the support you're giving me recently, and I will be always grateful for that. I love you guys. Rad signing out now. See you next time. Bye.